Hi, so for week 10 observation video, something that stood out to me in part A was in the video peer review using warm and cold feedback. So while watching this observation video, I noticed that the teacher started his class with a stretch warm-up. What also really stood out to me about his teaching style is how he checks in with each student to see how they are doing. I also liked how he walked around his classroom helping the students and motivating them. For part B, what stood out to me was in the video making claims about ecosystems. While watching the video, something that stood out to me was how the teacher writes her objective on the board so all her students are able to see it. I also liked how she broke up the objectives so her students could better comprehend it and see what the main focus is. The teacher also allowed her students to ask a lot of questions and give their opinion based on what they thought something was. And for part C, what kind of assessments are used in your host classroom, and would you use the same assessments in your classroom? So for the video, I chose my favorite. No, the assessment that was being used was a warm-up. She began the class with a warm-up, and this helps get the students engaged before the lesson. I feel like I would definitely see myself using this assessment in my future classroom because it will help me determine that my students are aware of the lesson being taught and keep them engaged in the beginning of the class. Another assessment I saw was in the video factor, expand, and combine like terms. The assessment being used is a silent classroom activity in the beginning of the class where the students have to think to themselves and determine where each problem goes. She also used short comparative assessment where she asked students at the end of the class what was the most important thing they have to remember when simplifying expressions.